Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the OTFB Football Podcast. I am Dana. You've got me and Sonia tonight for the show. As Kate mentioned last week, during the preseason, we're doing 2 and 2. And so everyone gets kind of an extended summer. Yes, you could say, once we get through the preseason. We are so excited to be back. I've been gone for a couple weeks, so I'm ready. I've been itching to talk about football. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the second week of preseason. Even though there was only one game, technically that's the first week. So we're going to go into the second week of preseason. And then we're also going to talk about a little bit later about some of the contracts that have come out this year, or just this last week, excuse me. But we promised you guys a special guest. We're so excited. We want to bring on our very, very dear friend, Mr. Emory Hunt. Hello. So Emory, I'm just gonna pretend like you guys don't know him because I know you all do know him. But he's the owner of Football Gameplan. He is also a host on CBS Sports HQ and Sportsline. He is a color commentator for college football, and he puts out, without question, the best draft guide you can find out there every single year. Thousands of people at our turf, every time we go to the combine, we take it with us. Like that's what we try and do. So it's so good. We're so excited. Emory, thank you for joining us.
No, not a problem. Always a pleasure talking ball with y'all, man. It's one of the best things that I do in this football media landscape.
Oh, you're so sweet. I know. Emory's such a good friend of ours. And I just get real excited when he's around. So yeah, and Sonia and I have been talking about this all week. I was like, Emory is actually free.
And so when Emory's free, you got to get him. So
you got him.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I know. It's so exciting. Do you ever get any time off?
Well, funny you should ask. This what I guess it's spring, summer, May. Yeah. I was in London for 2 weeks. So I did take 2 weeks to go to London, and my first time overseas, and I went to Paris for a day. So, it was dope to finally just, pull away, detach from everything, because you're 5 hours away from the East Coast.
Yeah. 5.
So I missed, it was funny because I first of all, shout out to all those people over there that watch NFL football, because I don't know how y'all do it, because that was during the NBA Finals, and I was like, oh man, it's an 8 o'clock tip off. Like, damn, that's 1 o'clock. I missed I think I missed like three of the games, and so by the time I got back to stateside, I was able to catch the last couple of games of the series. But I was like, man, I don't know how these dudes stay up and watch NFL games. Like, shout out to them. But I did take time off. I did go over to London. Nice. Had some great food, great experience. I almost got hit by like a car like every day. Like, left is right, right is left. So what I'm saying, I'm here.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you love it. We talked about this when you're on that trip. London is one of my absolute favorite places in the world. So I'm so glad you got to experience that. That's awesome. So, all right. So the reason that we brought you on here is we wanted to talk to you about the rookies, right? This is your specialty. You do all the college Pro Bowls. You do all the, all of the bowl games. You put together this massive, massive draft guide. And so I really feel like you have your fingertips on all of the rookies. And so, as we're seeing with a lot of the not so great teams, that, they get their hands on these rookies and they're good. But they end up going, these really good, high-ranked rookies end up going to teams that maybe aren't so good. So I really wanted to talk to you about them, just so that maybe some of these fans can have a little hope for some of their teams. What did you think of this year's overall draft class? Like, were you impressed? How did you feel about it?
Honestly, I was very impressed. And I say this, it's funny because when you say I'm more equipped for the preseason, I feel like if you're a draft analyst, you should be excited about the preseason, because this is when all of the rookies and the guys from previous classes that are the back end roster guys get to play. So you get to see your scouting report play out in full time. Doesn't matter if the game doesn't count. And so so I use that to also say every draft, I feel like it's when people ask, is this a deep draft or I was like, well, every draft class is deep because I go deeper than most. For me, watching the draft this year, and I said this last year too, as we're in like day 3, like the 5th and 6th round, I was like, wow, that's a good pick. Dang, that's a good pick. Wow, that's a really good pick. So I felt like everybody did a great job drafting it. Like we've seen, I guess because we've seen now the players have all this experience now. So you're getting a more polished player. We've seen these guys for a longer period of time. So they're really good football players, now that's coming into the league. So I feel like the league has done a really good job of just drafting good players. And so I do like the fact that everybody I felt had a good draft. So I thought everybody did knock it out of the park. So that's why I'm excited for this preseason to see these guys get to play a lot out there for these different NFL squads.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's first take a look back at last year's rookie class. There were a couple that really, really stood out and really helped their team. And I think that first we have to kind of start with McMillan out of Carolina. The turnaround Carolina has taken over the last couple of years. They looked really good, made the playoffs last year, which our friend Big Red promised us that they would, and he was right. And I really love that. There was also Carson Schlesinger, Cleveland's linebacker, obviously a huge help with them. You have Nicky Manwari out of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, I'm going to say that every time, just so you guys know, every single time. But there were a lot of rookies last year that really helped their teams. Like I was really impressed with the rookie class from last year. How'd you feel?
Same way. And even if we're looking at, obviously there's a little bit of ego when you see teams draft guys that you were higher on than the majority. So when the Browns took both Shedeur Sanders and also Carson Schlesinger and also Mason Graham, they got my number 1 defensive tackle, number 1 inside linebacker, number 1 quarterback in the class. So obviously I love that draft because it's like they make me look like I'm smart.
Well, you are.
Yeah, I'm not. I do great job for acting. But it's cool to see guys get out there and play really well because I've always said this: football is an easy game. Football not that complicated, and if you can do it in college, you can do it at the NFL level. A lot of times, what happens, coaching gets in the way. And that because you just don't forget how to play football, and so I love when coaches get players, see what they do well, minimize what they don't do well, and put them in position to have success. And you saw that with all the guys that you mentioned, while they all went out there and had tremendous success because you want to make it easier for them. And if you kind of bring them along slowly, you could throw them out there as starters, but you can also kind of bring them along slowly because you think about the whole process from their last college game, to the All-Star game circuit, to the combine, to the pro day circuit, to the traveling around to the top 40 visits or whatever. To now so they hit a wall because they've never gotten a break in the college season. Well, now college tends to go like 15, 16 weeks, but for the most part, college seasons you get like 12 games. You're done at the end of November. And so you have to get used to playing an extra month and a half as a pro. And so for some of these guys to really play great from start to finish, it's a testament to them locking in, but also a testament to these coaches making it easy for them. And I love when coaches do that, which is why we saw a lot of rookies have a lot of success at a high clip.
It really felt like that to me. Like this year, they're just like so many of these rookies were so standout. It was really impressive. It's too bad all those good rookies didn't help the Browns so terribly much, but maybe this year, right? There's always that second-year jump, so you never know. You might get it from them this year. So looking ahead into this upcoming season, there's a whole list of of rookies. And when you look at quarterbacks, are traditionally the ones that people talk about, they're going to make the biggest impact on their teams, right? So we can look at Mendoza with the Raiders, but he's not going to start. We'll see how he does, blah, blah, blah. Lisa is all over us to talk about quarterbacks. And it's like, no, Lisa, we're going to talk about other things too. But I do want to know from your perspective, what other position, because quarterback gets so much hype, right? What other position, sorry, Lisa, do you think where rookies can truly come in and make like an instant impact? Because sometimes it's going to take them a couple years to really get their feet under them, right? But what position outside of quarterback do you think has that instant impact?
easily running back. Because it's not that complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like for that position, you know, and again, I'm speaking as a former running back. I know our job. But you have guys that come in. We have guys that come in. That was big running back propaganda. Try to cut us off.
I guess it was
Jeremiah Love from the Cardinals. I expect him to have a good rookie season. You expect Jadarian Price to have a good rookie season because that's the easiest transition you can make from college to the pro game.
Okay.
And I would also say defensive linemen, both D tackles and pass rushers, because you can really simplify a pass rusher's role. You know, let's say someone like a Cassius Howell, who was drafted in the second round by the Cincinnati Bengals. He doesn't have to be a full down in, down out starter, but you could use him situationally as a strict pass rusher, and he can go out there and just do his thing and carve out a role that way. Defensive tackles, I think of guys like Dominic Orange and Caleb Banks, both of which, by the way, are with the Minnesota Vikings. You know, you can kind of have them do their thing. That's sort of like the running back position where guys can just play fast and play early and have success. So I think running back and defensive line has the easier transitions, in my opinion.
So looking at these teams that got some good rookies, we had, that whole first round, it was such an interesting mix. Which teams do you think will be helped most by their rookies that they got this year? And I know that's a huge that's a huge plate, right? That's 300 plus picks. I get it, but we have the Jets, we have the Cardinals, we have who you mentioned with Love. We have a lot of teams that really, God help them, need something, right? And so out of these rookies, which team do you think will be helped most by their rookies?
I will say there are two teams in the AFC, the Browns once again, and also the Raiders. The Browns drafted two receivers within the first and second round. Denzel Boston was in the second round. Casey Concepcion was in the first round. Both are going to be starters, and both have had tremendous camps. You talk about Nicky Manwari last year. They also drafted Emmanuel McNeil-Warren this year, who's very similar to Nicky Manwari, that can play a little bit of everywhere in the secondary, and he's going to be their big nickel, their third safety. So he's been having a great camp too. So you have a chance to get three impact rookies to go along with a very good rookie class last year for the Browns. So those guys are pencils in as starters. They should have immediate impact. And when you look at the Raiders, outside of Mendoza, right? Because I feel like I'm upset that they're not starting him. Y'all spent all this time talking about his big brain and how he's pro ready and all this stuff like that. Y'all talk about he's beyond Kirk Cousins. Like, nah, put him out there, right?
Lisa's probably very mad too.
Sonia, I was just going to say the same thing. You just made a friend for life in Lisa right now.
Exactly.
It's like, you mean to tell me a dude that's the Cuban Kirk Cousins is not better than the current Kirk Cousins? At 39, 40, whatever. I thought he would still be out there with us at CBS. Like, he did such a great job. And he want to go back out there and play. Like, man, put Mendoza out there. Like, so. But outside of Mendoza, I will say I like Mike Washington, the rookie out of Arkansas, backing up Genty. He gives a good 1-2 punch. He's explosive. He's gonna, benefit from being in that offense. Defensively, I thought they just aced the secondary. They drafted a lot of good players. They drafted Dalton Johnson out of Arizona, fantastic player, a safety. Hezekiah Massis out of Cal, who I thought was criminally underrated. Had a high second round grade on him. He went in round 6, but he's been out there impressing at camp. They got essentially a free first round pick in the 4th round in Jamal McCoy out of Tennessee, who, we knew he had the injury. You didn't know how he was going to, come back from that injury. He didn't really test particularly well, but he ends up getting drafted in round 4. And there looks like there will be no ill effect of the injury, and he looks to be on pace. They said he's going to play a lot in the preseason. So they instantly helped out their secondary. So I feel like the Raiders and the Browns, are two teams whose rookies will make significant impacts right out of the gate.
Oh my gosh, those fan bases are going to be so happy to hear that. Oh my God,
yeah,
because they need it so bad. Absolutely. We do have a couple of questions in here. Let me see. Okay, we're going to get to them just 1 second because they're actually about current players. So I want to talk Sonia.
Yes.
You know, Sonia is a college football lover. And, my thought is it too early? Sonia, is it too early for Emory to look at next year's college players for the draft? I saw some mock draft the other day already.
No, it's not too early to look at them. I mean, they're all starting their camps and getting ready, and they have like a couple more weeks to go. So you kind of have an idea of I'm sure you have an idea of who you're already going to look at in terms of the draft. And so they're already getting started. And yeah, it's never too early to look and see who's gonna, who you're looking for. I mean, they've already have like those little watch lists and stuff for the different awards. They already have the watch lists out. So yeah, of course you're going to have your draft list going. And with a guy like Emory, who's so busy, he's got to plan it all out.
I will say this, just on a small mini soapbox about that, is the fact that we're seeing dudes that have been in rookie minicamp and now going back to college. Like, we have completely lost the plot, because guys that are now with this new law that passed, this injunction, guys can go back to college that were in the 2022 recruiting class, because it's now 5 to play 5. And if they didn't play that 5th year, they have another year of eligibility. These dudes there's two. Mississippi State I saw today. One dude, I have a scouting report in the draft guide, because he was at an all-star game I was at, and now he's going back to college. Like, what are we even doing? When I was a senior in college, I was 21, and there were certain places I couldn't go because I felt like the old head. So now you have dudes that's like 24, 25, like, bro, you can't be in the same place
Literally.
as 18-year-old, 19-year-old, like, what are we doing? And so so who knows?
COVID ruined everything.
Right. Who knows who's eligible now for the draft, and who could surprise us and come back for another 5 years? I don't know. So there's a handful of guys that may come out, because you don't know now. Like, these dudes may declare, and there's another induction happens, and they get 3 more years. Like, I don't know. There's no rules anymore.
So a 32-year-old guy at the combine.
Unbelievable.
Carson back.
That's true.
Sorry.
That's right. That's true. So are we just gonna keep having Manning the third? We just call him. We go by numbers. So we do 1, 2, and 3. So Peyton's 1, Eli's 2. So this is Manning 3. Is that just gonna be shoved down our throat all season long?
My thing is, it's and this is another small mini soapbox.
Love it. Hit it. Give it to me.
The fact that we watched in 2025, all through 2024, going to the 2025 draft, there was a quarterback for Colorado whose dad was a Pro Football Hall of Famer, coached him at 2 separate universities, who was the Black College National Player of the Year as a freshman, the Jerry Rice Award, which is the top FCS freshman, still has currently the all-time NCAA completion percentage record in college. That goes back to 1869. That means Harriet Tubman, at some point before she passed away in 1914, knew about college football. So going all the way back toward that to now, he has the highest completion percentage. And all people said was, if his last name was Johnson, nobody would talk about him. Now we have a quarterback who has done absolutely nothing in comparison, but his last name is Manning, and all he's talked about is him being ready to go number 1 when he has not done a third of the things. Now, to his evaluation, because I'm off my soapbox, to his evaluation, I do feel like he has some talent, but everybody wants to compare him as if he's Peyton's son or Eli's son, but that is Cooper's son. So he has Cooper's athleticism, and he's actually played as a lot like his grandfather, Archie. But to me, I do feel like his comp and what he plays like, he's very Alex Smith-like to me, which is fine. Alex Smith wasn't a bad player. He was a solid player, played a long time. He went number 1 overall. Probably shouldn't have gone number 1 overall, but to each his own. I feel like Arch Manning right now is a 2nd-round talent, and we'll see how he does this year. And I guarantee, judging by now, this is when you can use the Manning lineage. We've seen Peyton stay all 4 years. We've seen Eli stay all 4 years. it wouldn't surprise me, even if he has a great season this year, Arch go back for another season to play another full season. So that's why now it's hard to gauge who's going to truly come out, because they're getting paid billions in college. And Arch, has his family has said, now you're going to play 4 years or whatever. So we'll see if he comes out. Even if he has a great year, he may go back.
Yeah. I kind of hope he does.
I could kind of see that happening. I could see him going back.
For sure. All right. So we got a couple questions from people. So I'm going to throw these at you a little bit. Here, let me see if I can find it. All right. Big Red, our good friend, Big Red, wants to know, is there undrafted players you're looking forward to see play this year? They were undrafted from last year.
It was funny. You mean undrafted in this class?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the ones who are starting this year. Yeah.
All college season, I was calling him America's quarterback, and it was so funny because he goes undrafted, and then we got a chance to see him in the first game of the preseason, and it was Haynes King. Unfortunately, he hurt himself on the game-winning touchdown run. And now he's probably not going to play in the preseason anymore. But that was the one guy I was excited to see. Like, I want to see, and he went out there and balled out. And so that was fun to watch, and that was cool to see. Khalil Benson is one. This was interesting because I was in the middle of finalizing the draft guide, and I got a tip from an agent, who was like, hey, you got to check out my guy. Nobody's talking about him, and he's in this class. I'm like, man, I hope he's a safety, because I'm at this point now where I'm like wrapping up safety, like he's an offensive tackle. I'm like, fuck. I was like, all right, I'll do you a solid. So I go back and watch him. And so I watched him. I'm like, man, this dude, like, it's funny because we all throughout the year and all throughout this playoff run, we were talking about these Indiana offensive linemen, Pat Coogan, goes to the Titans and whatnot, and all these other players. And it's like, man, nobody talked about Khalil Benson. And I'm watching, I'm like, he's actually pretty damn good. And, his long arms, he's a technician. He's doing everything you would want a lineman to do. So I've graded his tape, put him in the draft guide, and lo and behold, he goes undrafted, but he is in line to perhaps start for the Kansas City Chiefs at tackle. Wow. So I'm glad I did the extra legwork, but it shows you how certain teams do a great job of allowing the players to play, and not holding a round draft over someone. If this dude is outplaying them, like, put him in there. And so Khalil Benson is someone I'm interested to see in, and also in Kansas City, another undrafted rookie free agent, Jaden Ott, was a phenomenal tailback at Cal. Played actually with Fernando Mendoza at Cal, and then he didn't have the best year the following season. Because he was dealing with injuries. Then he transfers to Oklahoma for this past season and was put in the witness protection program because he barely played. It was like, man, this is how you go from potential first round pick to non-existent, and he didn't go back and transfer. He went to the draft, went to the Senior Bowl, and performed well there, looking like the Cal version of Jay Knott. So, he's in Chiefs camp too. So that's another one I'm excited to see.
You're right, though. There are some teams that
this team looks good, but in the landscape of how everybody else may look, you probably will say, oh, well, they're not better than the Seahawks, but that's a team that if the Seahawks don't bring their A game, they could lose to this team. Yeah, and that's how good the talent is at the NFL level, no matter where you are on the quote unquote power rankings spectrum.
Right, it's so true. All right, so Big Red wants to know, is Carson Beck almost a lock to back up Brissett?
Yeah, definitely a lock to back him up, but he also could be in the start. And here's I said this after the game, and people were like, it's just one game. It's a preseason. It's hyperbole, maybe 10% hyperbole. But if they heard what I said and listened to what I said, and instead of just hearing what I said, it was laid out perfectly. It was like, listen, Brissett is 34 years old. Carson Beck played over 50-something games. I want to say 57 games in college. He's one of those older college guys that we talked about. He's a 24-year-old rookie but he's played so many doggone games. And if the difference between a Brissett and a Beck is right here, then play the younger guy. I know you paid this dude, and the example I brought up was 2012. The Seahawks just paid a Matt Flynn. Here comes his third round rookie that just was clearly better than him. And it was like, all right, well, yeah, we're just going to consider what we paid you, the cost of the entire quarterback room. It's a sunk cost. We got to play the better guy. And so this guy has more upside. So Carson Beck can, if he comes out in the second preseason game and plays like he did in the first one, now we're going from beating out Gardner Minshew to being a backup to now being the starting quarterback and competing with a Jacoby Brissett.
It was insurance money, right? It's like, okay, you know you have a guy who can play, but let's see what these other, because I know I've heard people screaming for Minshew to start too, because, you know, he has his moments too. So yeah, the Cardinals are going to be wild to watch this year.
those people that scream for Minshew, I always say this, they love the idea of Gardner Minshew until Gardner Minshew actually gets out there and plays. And it's like,
agree.
Yeah, then you like, why is he out there even starting? So no disrespect, no shade, but that's just the honest truth.
Yeah,
that is very true.
Lisa, are you happy we talked about quarterbacks for a minute? She should be thrilled for sure. Oh my gosh, Emory, we appreciate your time. I kept you longer than I said we would too, and I am so sorry for that. I hope you're okay with that. But so, as I said before, it's Football Gameplan. That is your website. That is your own. That's what you own. It is where your draft guide comes from. It is so good. But what do you have coming up? Anything soon? College starts for you soon.
College starts for me soon. I have a lot of games on the schedule. You'll see me more on CBS Sports HQ in studio.
Nice.
On I don't know for sure like which days, but I know like obviously probably Mondays and Thursdays and some Saturdays when I have games. But we have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pike too on CBS Sports HQ, CBS Sports Network, in terms of shows that I'm on. So I'm excited about it. So all that stuff you can see if you lock in there, and then just follow me on Twitter at Football Gameplan. Football Gameplan, all one word, on Instagram too.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, cool. I gotta follow you on Insta. Move.
Oh yeah, you do? Yeah. Emory, thank you. I know. Where's she been for all these years? Jeez.
I know, right?
Emory, thank you so much. Have a great season. I'm sure you'll do it. And if you can squeak out time, maybe toward the end of college season, we'll have you come back on if we can.
I tell y'all all the time, like the best time is around this time. But whenever y'all reach out and ask, you already know I'm going to give you guys time. I
appreciate it so much. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Emory.
Thank you, Emory. Have a good night.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Just love him. He is just the absolute best.
Him.
I know. He's so great. Me and I can sit around. We sit around at the combine, blah, 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 blah. It's so fun. And he's such a wealth of knowledge. And the great thing about Emory is that he does not just stick to the big teams in college. He goes into every team. He looks into HBCUs. He looks all down Division II. He looks everywhere. And it's just, I love that, because then he can say, well, yeah, he looks good, but have you seen this kid over at this tiny school in Wyoming or whatever it may be? So love it so very much.
That is so cool.
Oh, love it. So please go follow our dear friend Emory. He told me at the combine, he's like, Dana, I think the first time I came on your podcast was like 12, 14 years ago. Probably. It's been around for a minute. It's been a minute for sure. Love it. All right. So we did want to talk about a couple of other things. There were some big contracts that came down this week. I think we had kind of had a lull in the contracts for a little bit, but then they popped off a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Who got signed? So Jonathan Taylor got his contract from the Colts. So good for him. Good on it. I think it was kind of funny because everybody just was like, highest paid running back. Yep. And then 2 seconds later, here comes Bijan Robinson getting his money. So very much needed. So very much well deserved.
Earned. Yeah.
So good for him. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I just couldn't hear y'all. So I was like, hang on.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, it's a me thing, but we're good now. But yeah, so then Jonathan Taylor got his contract. Wonderful. I think that's such a good thing just because that's what they need. The Colts need that good running back, like Emory was talking about, and how that's just so helpful. So they've got that. Bijan Robinson got his contract. another well-deserved
arguments about him or whatever, is going on. And this really does feel like the year of the running back, even though, from what Emory was talking about, because I think that they realized that, it's so cyclical. Sometimes, we ignore running backs and now we're back into the running backs. So I think it's good. I like it when these contracts get done. It just takes a weight off the team. It takes a weight off the fans. Like everyone can kind of just take a breath and be like, all right, let's go.
Okay, let's get back down to football.
Exactly. Now, speaking of football, we're looking into second preseason. This is really the first full slate of games. Obviously, we did have the 32. So 3 games on Friday: Dolphins, Commanders, Broncos, Falcons, Buccaneers, and Jets. And then we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on Saturday. Saturday is a full slate of preseason games: the Browns and the Bears, the Panthers, Bills, Vikings, Giants, Rams, Chiefs, Jaguars, Saints, Eagles, Ravens, and Cowboys, Seahawks. Now, here's the interesting thing for me with these games. Obviously, not a lot of the starters will play. You'll see a lot of the backups. But there are some teams where I think that this is really important to start to see their depth, especially looking at the injury situation that happened last year, Sonia, and all these teams were decimated after 2 injuries. And so that's where I find a good, fun watching these preseason games. And then I have this I always call it a little mom moment where I'm like, that might be the only time that guy gets to put that uniform on and play. So I better watch him. You know what I mean? It's like,
you better watch him.
I know, it's like endearing to me. Are there any teams in the preseason that you really are going to be paying attention to, outside of your Lions, of course, that you're interested to see what they do? Any of the quarterback competitions, anything like that?
Honestly, I kind of am
Some
interested
of the new coaches.
In the Giants. I really am, because I think that they're really going to be fun to watch this year. At least I hope. But I think watching them is going to be that's going to be one team that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm going to kind of go there, Lisa. Sorry, but I think the Vikings now are going to be a team to keep an eye on. I think I'm really kind of dialed into that a little bit, more so division rival, but also to see what does Kyler Murray really have, and how good is he going to be. The Browns, that's another good one. I think they've got a lot of talent, and I think they're kind of getting into good one, Kristen. I agree. That they're going to kind of turn the corner and see. But I think that that's going to be another fun team to watch this preseason. What about you?
I'm interested. It's funny. They've been on my radar because of you. When we talked in the off season about the most interesting new head coaches and what you saw and who you were most interested to see what they could do and who you thought the best hire was, you brought up Jesse Minter. And to be honest with you, I hadn't put a lot of stock, because I always considered the Ravens to be a pretty good team already, right? They have great pieces and all these things. But so I've been paying a little bit more attention. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with this team. It's going to be such a contrast to what Harbaugh was doing there. I'm excited to see how that kind of changes up. Now, before we get in the comments with this, people, we understand it's preseason. But just to see the dynamic and the feel of it, I think that is going to be kind of really interesting. But it does go hand in hand with Harbaugh and the Giants, right? Because what is he going to do that's different with the Giants and the skill sets he's got up there? And did he just need a change of scenery to kind of restoke those coaching juices? I think that's going to be that's going to be interesting to watch. I'm also interested to watch the Titans play. I'm interested to see a few others. I think all the new head coaches, it'll be nice to kind of get that feel a little bit. So, but Jesse Minter has been on my brain because of you for a few months now. So I'm excited to see what kind of happens.
I think he's going to be fun to watch too.
I think so too. So Darcy, in our comments, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone over in comments. And I did forget to say this. If you watch over on Twitter or on Blue Sky or on Facebook, we really encourage you to come over and join our comment section over on YouTube, just because you can interact with our group of fans and we post your questions when you have them for us. So Darcy says, I just want no one seriously hurt in the first preseason game against Miami, considering our top LT is out. I think he's out. we're out our top left tackle until who the hell knows when. That's fair. Yeah, that did hurt a little bit for sure.
Yeah,
and he's talking about when he says theirs, he is a Commanders fan. So just for you guys who know, but I think that's fair. Obviously, there's been enough injuries already, and that's normally something we talk about in our preseason games. But we had Emory today, or our preseason shows. Excuse me. Talking too fast. Our preseason shows, but we had Emory today. But there already have been some kind of killer injuries for a few teams. And so, of course, we hope there's no one. Kristen has a good point. She says Ravens Mentors Camp has been a 180 from Harbaugh's early morning and shorter. So I think that's interesting too. I want to see how Lamar Jackson reacts to him too. I don't know.
Agree.
I'm interested in that for sure. All right. Any other thoughts as we kick off into the actual games of preseason?
No, I just can't wait to watch it get started and hope that everybody stays safe.
Yeah.
No injuries.
And go enjoy, fans. These preseason games are a lot of fun. So if you never have gone to a preseason game, go. They're cheaper. It's hot outside, yes, but it's a good time with all these young kids out there playing. So, all right, everyone. Well, we will be back again next week to tell you how all these teams did in this first full week of games for preseason. So we hope that we will see you guys then. Of course, you can always join us Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.